You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's Project Runway After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Project Runway After Show.
Hey everyone, Bing is for doing, and here at AFTERBUZZ TV, we're doing another Project Runway Season 11, Episode 15, Special Reunion Recap.
Woohoo! Last one of the season.
Last of the last.
I know. We thought last one was the last, but this one is the
Surprise.
The real last. I'm Alina. These are my lovely co-hosts.
Hey guys, it's Virginia.
Hi, it's Lauren.
Hey, it's Cougar.
All right, we have a lot to get into.
So much.
So much.
So shall we get started with the whole team issues?
Yeah, so from the
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say from the opening we had this interesting lady, what was her name? Zanna Roberts Rossi.
Zanna Roberts Rossi.
Yeah.
Yes, from Marie Claire.
From Marie Claire. First thing I noticed was
Her outfit.
Her accent.
her accent, and then it was her terrible outfit. And then third was Daniel in the absence of the mustache.
Where
The
did it
absence
go?
of the mustache and the slick back do. I think
can we talk
before I
about
even
this?
noticed the mustache, I noticed his hair.
I didn't even notice the
Oh my
mustache.
gosh.
What? How did you not notice that he
noticed
didn't?
something was weird.
It's the hair.
It's like my dad has a mustache, and when he like removes it, you're like, "There's something going on," but you
Missing.
don't know what it is.
Exactly.
And that's how I felt with him. I was like,
Yeah.
"What's different?"
Right. And
I
you
thought
just
it was the
know.
hair.
Yeah.
I thought it was the hair.
It was long and slick.
Yeah, but it wasn't just long and slick. It had
Like-
some mullet
Like-
action.
Yeah,
Little-
have a
like
little
a little flip.
Flip to it, right.
It
A little
was
ducktail.
style.
And the last time we saw him, he had the Jerry curl, dripping with.
The crazy
God.
perm. It
Yeah.
was like
perm.
a little.
You guys don't.
Black
You
poodle.
don't think it's natural, and he doesn't straighten it normally.
Not what he had on the last episode or the finales. No, that was way not natural. That was tight. it was tight and it was dripping.
Kinky?
With probably stinky.
I don't
If I
know.
could smell
Kinky,
it through
not stinky.
Oh.
Kinky.
It just reminds
like
me of
kinked
Purple
up
Rain
curls.
Prince
Purple, yeah, he definitely looked like Purple Rain Prince. A little chubbier.
and
Yeah.
a little more Latin.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So that was surprising, and then they go into the recap on the teams and all that good stuff. So
The team twist.
this is a good question for us. What now that it's all over, what did we think of teams? Yay, nay, what could have been better?
Adios teams. I want to see each designer do their own work, and that's about it.
Agreed. I feel like we didn't really get to see who was good and who was bad, and everybody got carried, and it was just for drama, and it wasn't even good drama.
Yeah.
I think too, a lot of people come into this and they want to kind of express their own, opinion or their own design and, in their fashion. And you didn't get to see that because of the team challenges. Exactly what you said. You don't really get to see them all individually. So I don't know. I didn't like it.
Nope.
Clear?
Same. Yeah, it was too hard to distinguish personalities. I mean, the personalities that we did see come out early were boring. The drama that was created wasn't that dramatic. It didn't add any show value. And then we got left with kind of like, at the very end, they were doing these team situations, which weren't really just teams. It was them having, little helpers, which they do every season.
Right.
So it's like they almost just kind of got bored with their own theme anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I think it's pretty unanimous. I mean,
yeah.
And also, I don't know if it's just that these designers weren't as talented as past seasons, or the fact that they had teamwork really dragged them down, because I wasn't really impressed with anyone's work this season.
No.
At least not like I am usually. I mean,
Or we're just
every
like,
other season, yeah.
wow.
every
Right.
look that comes down, at least a few looks that comes
But I
down the
think that's
runway, I
what
love.
makes you wonder too. Was it the fact that it was, that every challenge was a team challenge that kind of kept each designer from really doing their best? Because they had to make a lot of compromises because they were on a team. So they weren't 100% doing their own design.
I would
That's
say
a great
no, that
just
can't be
think
the
they
case
suck?
because if you look at the
Yeah.
final runway when they even had Daniel, they each got to make their own collections and they all sucked. I mean, Michelle's was the best of
Right.
the worst.
Yeah, I would agree that I don't think they are as talented as the seasons from the past, but I feel like there's, there were people that maybe we could have seen more from
Right.
that we didn't, and maybe there were people we saw too much of because they were on a team. So
And maybe the team challenges held them back from really becoming better designers, because even in
Yeah.
the past seasons, we see these designers really evolve throughout the season. And I
Right.
think it's just like doing challenge after challenge, you get better.
yeah, and having
Right.
to push yourself rather
Yeah.
than, doing something with someone else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and compromising, like you
I
said.
thought it was upsetting that, it was upsetting to me that Patricia was in the final four anyways.
Yes.
But that she was labeled in this reunion as the runner-up, the second runner-up, or number
Yeah.
2, or silver medal winner, when her stuff was just crap and she never won a challenge. She was
Yeah.
always in the bottom and she never won a challenge, and she got carried, because of her creativity and maybe other things.
And
So I don't know.
I can't believe they even showed a snippet of her runway show. I
Oh,
would
yeah.
think that Project Runway would make sure that all footage was erased.
But
and-
but she won, and I think I'm still stunned that the judges didn't rip her to shreds. I'm stunned that she was in the final four. I'm stunned that she, put what she put down the runway, and then that she was still second place.
Yeah, and they kept
That makes no
lauding her
sense
for
to
her
me.
creativity, and creativity only takes you so far. Where's the talent?
Who else would have been in the finals?
Daniel, I think if
Okay,
he would have had better editing, he would have been way better to have in the final
Yeah.
four.
But
who's
he was in the
somebody-
final four.
Final
Yeah, he was in
sorry,
the
the final
four.
three.
But okay, so let's take Patricia out. Who else would have been there with
Okay.
Daniel and Michelle and Stanley?
Well, I would
Even-
say Leanna was
Leanna,
talented, and even
Samantha.
Samantha. That's somebody I felt like
what happened to her?
Samantha.
Well,
I was
you know-
Samantha over Leanna.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. She was somebody that I really wanted to see more of. That I really liked her from the beginning, and I was sad that she didn't make it that far.
Right.
But
I'm sad that Emily didn't make it that far.
no,
Who?
no.
Crickets.
Yeah.
Who knows how to make
No, I'm kidding.
cricket noise?
Yeah.
Teams from hell.
Teams from hell.
There were many.
Yeah, there were many. They highlighted 3.
They
you
usually
get-
included Richard.
Did you
Yeah.
guys
Mm-hmm.
think that Michelle kind of did a cop out with the whole Patricia issue?
Yes. I think the whole episode she was just like, whatever. She did it with she did it with
She
Daniel.
cursed a lot in this reunion.
Yeah.
I think I forgot what specific excuse she gave about Patricia, but I was like, come on.
Well, she basically started by saying how creative
that's right.
Patricia was, and that basically that she's a great designer.
She
But it
didn't know
took her
her.
12 episodes to realize
And
that.
they have this bond now.
Yeah, but then I thought that was so funny because she said all of that, and then later on they cut back to the clip of Michelle after she argues about not being a bitch and all of that. They cut back to the clip of Michelle saying that 90% of what Patricia does is crap.
Crap, yeah.
Yes.
Right.
I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know what to believe that comes out of Michelle's mouth. I feel like she says certain things and tries to back up what she says, but then she'll say something different.
And
later
what
on.
is with
Interesting.
everybody saying Amanda is the nicest person in the world, but then she's best friends with Michelle and backs up everything Michelle says. Oh no, Michelle didn't mean
That's
it that
what I
way.
said.
So I
I was
really
like, they
caught
need
what
to
you
stop
guys were
dating.
always saying. In the last few weeks, I'm like, yeah, Michelle, I called her to be the winner. I was getting in her corner. And you guys were like, especially you, Virginia, were like, man, she's a
hates her.
bitch. I hate her. And I was like, she's not that much of a bitch. No, she super was a bitch, and I just didn't
Yeah.
notice it. But they played all these clips, and I was like, damn, she's a bitch.
Yeah.
And I think that Kate was kind of right. They lumped Amanda into that bitchy corner, but if we think back and over those episodes, she wasn't really that bitchy.
She was bitchy, and she was kind of dark and glum. Remember, she's like,
She was
I don't
glum.
like flowers.
Oh, I don't like babies. I don't like
this.
babies.
I
But
don't
I
like that.
think, now
Yeah.
looking back on it, when everybody else is saying she's nice, maybe she's just one of those girls that just kind of does anything to be your friend. So if you're talking crap about somebody, she's gonna talk crap about somebody. Like
Right.
she doesn't really have
She's
her
always
own
been in the
personality.
shadows, you know. She's been in the shadows of her brother.
Yeah, Maroon 5.
Okay,
I mean,
because who can name him?
She didn't even name
The guitar
him.
guy.
Okay,
He's a
Because
guitar
nobody
player
didn't-
for Maroon 5.
Exactly.
Let's keep it real.
And I like
the
how she
band should
was
be called
smiling.
Adam Levine, all right?
It
Because
should
nobody
be.
else exists.
Yeah,
Right.
I like how she smiled and she said it like, yeah, my brother.
Yeah, my
is,
brother
You know, the guitar
is-
player for Maroon 5. You know,
But
like, oh my
everybody wanted
gosh.
to take my photo.
Yeah, but yet she doesn't say his name. Like, if your brother's so famous, like,
Such
say
a
my brother
name
is so
dropper
and so.
without
Right.
dropping his name.
My bro is
Exactly.
blah blah blah.
Doesn't work.
Doesn't work.
No.
No. Benjamin and Cindy. It was tough for me to believe that they even bothered highlighting that, and we get a bug situation
Yeah.
in here.
It's a moth.
It's like
It's
just
a
a
moth
moth flying
situation.
around.
But Benjamin and Cindy and their drama, like who even? I didn't even remember their drama, or did I?
I
care?
did.
Oh.
I remembered that specific episode where he was really micromanaging her, and I did.
Yeah.
You know, I felt bad for her because, as horrible of a designer as I thought she was, you know, she was put there for a reason, and Benjamin did need to back off a little bit. Like you do to an extent need to let that person do their thing, and I remember him just really being over her shoulder.
Right.
Yeah.
So I didn't blame her.
He was overly confident to begin with.
way
yeah,
over
he
the
came
top.
in. We talked about
Well,
that.
we thought he was
came
gonna be
in,
good.
He was a smooth talking Australian or whatever.
Yeah,
and
Yeah.
He sucked.
British, I
Yeah,
think.
he
Really
sucked
bad.
and
He's a
terrible
Nazi.
time
Oh.
management, and a little Nazi, and then Patricia and Richard. That was my favorite drama of the entire season, was between them, because they got placed together twice in a row, and it was
Yeah.
like, man, that's the only time I felt bad
Yeah.
for Patricia, because he just sucked. And
Yeah, and well, didn't they get in the bottom too because of her? Well, no, he got kicked off.
remember.
he got kicked off.
He got kicked off when they first
that's
grouped
right.
together, and then they brought
and
him
then
back.
they brought him back, like, hey,
And they
Patricia,
gave,
here you
yeah,
go.
I know. And that was bad.
Yeah.
That was a bad idea.
That was a bad production idea.
Who else did you guys think were like a team from hell? Because I feel like a lot of people were, like, I would call them a team from hell, and there were actually very few teams that worked really well together.
I would call 2 and Kate a team from hell because it was basically the dictator and her.
Or little.
Yeah.
Well, then Stanley and 2 also because
Yep.
He did the same thing.
he was
Oh,
like,
and
"Good
then
job."
Michelle
Stanley and
2.
Richard,
And
right?
Anybody
Everybody
in
in
two.
Yeah, poor 2.
Or 2.
He was so nice, though. I felt kind of bad, though, when they were talking about all this. I actually did feel bad for Kate a little bit.
Oh,
because
I
I
felt
felt
so
like
bad.
I remember
Felt so
her. I remember her in
bad.
the season, and we actually didn't mind her. Like, she
No.
didn't seem like a bitch throughout the season
They
when
gave
she
way
was
more
in it.
clips of her being
I actually
bitchy.
really thought she seemed really nice, and I feel like in this particular episode they lumped in all the bitchy comments that she could possibly say, put it all in one spot in the show, and she just had to kind of defend herself.
Right.
And then I loved how she admitted to lumping in Amanda with Michelle and Leanna.
Mm-hmm.
But then it left Michelle and Leanna saying, like, oh, so
Well,
you're
what it
still
was-
calling us a bitch. But I don't know how, like, Michelle could even argue that.
Right.
I don't know how she gets so defensive. Like, yes, you are a bitch. Like, why would you disagree?
Yeah, even Leanna
Own it.
admitted. She's like, yeah, I guess I'm a nice bitch or what,
No,
something like
you're
that.
just
Yeah.
a bitch.
You're-
No, she is
Leanna,
a
you
nice
were-
bitch because she's fake.
yeah.
Right, because she smiles and, like, bats her eyelashes, like they
Right,
were
right.
saying.
And I
right.
love that they called her out for
Oh
that.
yeah,
and
and
she was
that
like,
was one
"What
of
are
the
you
topics.
talking about?"
Leanna
And
getting
then it
her
was
way
like,
on
"Here."
everything.
Yeah.
We have to discuss 2's hair, by the way. Is it Donald Trump? Whose hair does he have now? It's like an old white man's hair.
Right, and he's wearing a cape, and then he has like Lady Gaga,
Gaga
shoes on.
But the hair, though, look at that.
Oh.
Who is
It's
that?
basically, like, teased and puffed.
Teased
up.
and puffed.
Or maybe it's kind of like an old white
Well,
lady hair, too.
Yeah,
hairdo, too.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
I see that.
It's like a
Golden
mold.
Girls,
Yeah.
little Golden Girls.
It's fascinating.
Yeah, it's all
Fascinating.
plumped up.
Anyhow,
Yeah, Leanna
Leanna?
getting her way with everything, batting her. Oh, can I really want to use
Yeah.
the zebra. Was it pink zebra? Or
no,
what?
I want to do the black and white.
The black and white. Sandy.
I know, right?
I know.
What else did she get her?
I
way
don't
with?
know. I
Oh,
don't
she
know.
got money.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, she
money
had a
from
lot of
Ford.
I
money.
need money. I need $100.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
right.
look,
She
I
was
got
like,
$100.
she was just like collecting.
Right.
Yeah, she was pretty bad.
That's just
She's
Really
horrible.
Wow.
bad. Yeah. Ugh.
Now she's got a baby and she's gonna raise
Listen,
that
if she
baby.
can use her little Brazilian jiu-jitsu to get her way.
Brazilian jiu-jitsu?
Isn't that what jiu-jitsu is?
Brazilian black magic?
I don't know.
I don't think that's what jujitsu is.
I'm kidding.
That's
But,
awesome.
Yeah.
Why not? Let's not knock that.
Right.
But
I guess.
I
everything
think
else is annoying, though.
kind of going back to the one of the
just
problems
saying
with this
those two.
season that they brought up was the dream team and their like incessant sucking. They just
Yeah.
sucked. Time
I forgot
after
the
time
fact that there was
after
a team.
time. Dream team. It was
And
dream
Michelle was on that team
Yeah.
every single
team.
time.
Right. And
Yeah.
man, there are mad bugs up
Moths.
in here.
Moths.
Flies.
Alright.
But anyways, the dream team sucking over and over and over again, it made the show more boring, like incredibly more boring, because every week they just sucked until they broke that team apart. They should have
Yeah.
let them suck maybe once, I guess once or twice, and then broke them apart and changed it up. But they decided to keep those people together for quite a while.
Yeah, I remember they were discussing that when she was actually asking if anybody felt like the team dynamic was beneficial to them, and nobody
No.
said that it was, and they said some of the same things I think that we all said. They don't really get to show their individual style as well. But Michelle, I mean, she made a good point that she was in the bottom for a really long time because of being on her team. I think it was funny, though, how she blames that for her team, when I think at the beginning, we weren't necessarily impressed with her either. She wasn't
No.
pulling out anything great.
Yeah.
Even if she were without her team, I don't know, the stuff that she was making, I thought was worthy of being in the bottom.
Right.
I agree. All right, that's enough with the teamwork. Let's talk about iTunes before we get into bitchiness.
iTunes. Okay, this is the last episode of where we'll be together, at least for a little while.
Until the next season.
Until the next season. Aw.
Here.
Go to iTunes. All of you guys, you fans out there have been so incredible, especially this latter part of the season and rating us with your awesomely high ratings. Thank you for that.
Woo, 5 stars.
5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars. Comments have been so helpful in helping us all grow this season. So thank you for those. But yeah, share on iTunes. Tell a friend to watch our recaps, to listen to our recaps, and to give those 5-star ratings on iTunes and on YouTube. Thank you for all the
Yes.
comments we've been getting on
And
YouTube.
we can view on iPhones,
yeah.
iPads,
iPods.
Androids.
Yep, you can now watch us live.
Yeah, you can
streaming
stream
straight
us
Right on your phone.
to your
Just
phone.
like that.
So convenient.
I know.
Or your
Yeah.
iPad.
Yep.
Your iPad mini.
So thanks again for all the love and support, and for using platforms like iTunes and YouTube to really pump us up and get us out there and,
And
help
to
us
comment.
improve and comment.
We have some
And-
great comments.
We have a ton more shows on AfterBuzz. Check them all
Yeah.
out. Support. Are you guys doing any other shows?
Yep, Fashion Star. If you guys like Project Runway, you will love Fashion Star. So watch
Awesome.
that.
When's
more.
that wrapping?
There's 2 or 3 more episodes,
Cool.
and
That was
yeah, it's on
fast.
Sundays. Well, we started a few episodes in, but it's a
Oh.
short.
It's a short
process,
show.
but it's fashion related as well.
Yeah.
Right.
No, it's great. It's a fun show.
And we get a lot of guests coming in.
Oh, I
Cool.
love it.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Hello.
Nothing yet, but I'll keep you posted.
Nothing yet, but keep posted. Stay tuned.
Yeah.
Well, I'm in the works to do Arrested
Oh.
Development.
That seems
Very
like such a
cool.
fun show.
Please, people, if you guys want to comment or tweet Phil
Tweet.
Svitek. I just butchered his last name,
Svitek.
Svitek,
Yes.
because he's having a draft tomorrow, and I told him I need to be number 1
There's a
draft pick.
draft.
I'm also part
Oh,
of
yeah.
that, you know.
So tweet Marissa.
Tweet at me.
Serafini.
If
Tweet
you
Marissa,
can,
tweet
yeah.
AfterBuzz
Kathy
TV.
Kelly.
If you can hook
AfterBuzz
Marissa
TV.
up with a hot man who's got like a 12-pack,
She don't need a
Preferably
man.
a dancer.
prefer.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. I agree.
She's like, yes,
That
I
could swing the
support
vote,
that. I support
So, May
that.
26th. Hopefully, I'll see you guys.
All right.
Awesome.
Anyways.
Moving on.
Now to bitchiness.
Now let's talk about bitches. All right. Bitchiness and the time constraints, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
There was a lot of bitchiness to discuss, but they took the easy route. Everybody was pointing fingers, making excuses.
Right.
And then just trying to like make it nice. Like
Yeah.
that's what I was
Yeah.
like, okay, they're all going Ivy on us. Like when
Right.
Ivy tried to make up for her bitchy attitude, it's like,
Oh,
oh, no,
man,
no.
Ivy.
We can
Good
see
lord.
right
That
through you.
reference.
You were a
Right.
bitch the whole time.
And then
Don't try
Amanda
to play
was
nice.
trying to say she should have been more of a bitch.
She said
Apparently,
that?
it's-
I don't
yeah.
even remember
Well,
her
she
saying
should
that.
have stood up for herself more.
You know,
And everybody, and remember Stanley was like, "Oh, Amanda was so sweet. She was such a sweet person," and she
Maybe
just let
she
everybody walk
was.
all over her.
maybe she was. I feel like when she was saying, like, how did I get wrapped into this? I would agree. I don't remember any moments where we thought, oh my God, Amanda is such a bitch. I felt like the two of them together, they seemed to kind of like, I don't know, maybe it was really just Michelle that was kind of the one that would like talk about other people's designs, and I felt like Michelle was really
Amanda
bitchy.
would just kind of go along with it.
And you're
be like,
right,
"Yeah."
Virginia. I think she may be that kind of person that just kind of goes along with what everybody says. Like maybe with the really nice people on this cast, she was really nice with them. And then with Michelle, you know, she just laughs at what everything Michelle says.
Right.
You know? So, and I thought they worked really well together. And I think that's why it's kind of easy to lump her into that
Right.
whole group. But when she made that comment, how did I get into this? Like, I never even said anything. It's true. They really didn't show her throughout the season nagging on anybody or, like, saying bad things.
In the beginning of the season, if you remember, when they were in the apartment, she always had, like, little comments like, am I going to have to work with blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And I hate babies. I hate
I hate
dogs.
That's pretty.
I
babies.
hate puppies.
I hate anything
and that doesn't
that's
make,
nice.
I don't think that makes her a bitch to other people.
That, If you don't like
I mean, if
puppies,
you don't like
nobody
like
can
babies.
I'm
you.
saying you don't
I
have
mean,
a
you're
heart.
heartless,
Yes. But you could be heartless and not be a bitch towards other people. Like, I'm just
Right.
saying she wasn't outwardly bitchy to other people.
She
But if I
wasn't
just went and said,
saying-
I don't like babies, I don't like puppies,
I'm not
and this
gonna
is
like
the first time I'm
you.
meeting
I'm
you,
just
would you
saying,
be
I'm
like,
not
that
gonna
girl's
like
kinda
you.
bitchy.
No, I'm
Yeah.
not going to say you're bitchy. I'm going to say there's something wrong with that person. That's what
Right.
I will say.
Yeah,
but-
and she definitely wasn't like deflecting hugs like Michelle.
Oh,
No.
that
Oh,
was
Speaking
mean.
of Michelle, who knew this whole tension was going on between her and Daniel?
Well, Daniel is just, he holds
Still.
all in the emotions.
Still.
Still,
emotional.
They
that's
don't
the,
like
that's
each
the
other.
thing is that they don't like each other, and still like they both said, or I mean Michelle said, yeah, still that there's hard feelings about that. Like let it go.
But she
definitely
hasn't
has
let it
anger.
go.
That's
I
what I'm saying.
agree.
She
And it's like, you
Daniel
won.
probably
Get
let it go.
over
Yeah.
it. Like,
She's got
Daniel
some-
seems a little hurt too, though.
he was hurt still.
Yeah.
But he's
But
just
he didn't-
emotional.
Yeah, he's just emotional.
I think he
she
should-
was
Yeah.
like, she was like,
He's
it's still a big
tender.
deal. Like no
he
big
is
deal.
tender. Yes, he is
He's
a
a little
softie.
tenderoni.
You
We
just
learned
like,
some
you
things
poke
about him
and it's
tonight.
just like,
Like,
he starts
tears.
wilting.
Yeah,
Yes.
we learned a lot about Daniel with his. I didn't know that he had a drug addiction problem.
Neither did I. They mentioned it like he had brought it up before, but
Did they say drug addiction or
They
did
said
they say like it
substance
could
abuse.
alcohol? I don't know what
did
it could
they?
be.
They said addiction. That's all I heard.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
So maybe he.
I thought it was substance abuse, but
well,
and he'd
either
been
way,
bullied and all that. And
Yeah.
which is I don't
Nuts.
really remember seeing that so much throughout the season, but we did see him being an emotional wreck. And I think too, when they were talking about his breakdown, they were specifically talking about breaking down moments, you know, when everybody just kind of lost it. And in those moments, everybody's more, you know, much more sensitive. And so I think for Michelle to get so pissed off and angry about it and
Right.
defend herself now,
She
like
was
even to this day,
cursing a
she couldn't
storm.
just look at it as like he was having a weak moment. He was really breaking down
Right.
at that time, like, and let it go and just let it be like, you know, when things are getting to you, when you're stressed out, you can, you know, freak out about things
Right.
that maybe you wouldn't if you weren't feeling like that.
Sure.
So I felt like she was being a bitch just in reacting that way.
I think just the overall thing is she's just a bitchy
bitch.
person.
right.
And
Jesus.
Agreed.
yeah.
She's very icy. Like there's no warmth to her. Even when he was breaking down during the reunion, she wasn't
I
like,
know.
you know, like
Okay.
you
That's what I'm
think
saying,
she'd have
she-
some
her
remorse, like,
reaction-
damn, I'm sorry.
Exactly.
She's
She
like,
couldn't let it go. She looked so pissed when she was, you know, reacting to him, pretty much holding back his tears.
Yeah, she was very defensive.
Oh yeah. I thought that was rude.
I must say this reunion
Ridiculous.
show is a little lackluster because it's hard to have a reunion show. I think it's a good idea for Project Runway, but when it's such a lackluster season devoid of talent, you know, like and devoid of real drama, you know, they did the team thing to kind of instigate drama, but then there wasn't that much. So
Yeah.
the reunion itself was kind of anticlimactic
You
in
know
a
what?
way.
I think they should have let people just kind of go at it.
Right.
Like they made it so structured and they asked them about the judges. They asked them what they thought about the team dynamic. Whereas maybe if they would have sat them in a screening room, let them watch like some of the highlights and the bitchy moments, and then
Yeah.
said, "So, Lana, tell me, you know, what did you think when you saw that?" And then let everybody just kind of say their piece and go at it. Might have been interesting.
It's also the mediator and the host.
Exactly.
Like Andy Cohen, he instigates. He doesn't sit there and go, "Oh yeah, you guys had a fight. Well, Daniel, I'm okay. I'm glad you're feeling better.
Right.
You're okay now," and move on to the next topic.
Right.
Andy Cohen's like, "Oh, you guys got in a fight about that? Do you think it's her fault? Blah 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 blah."
Right.
And that's all they talk about is the drama parts in the season.
And that makes it interesting.
That gets
Sure.
people pissed. And
Yeah.
they
Well,
didn't do that enough.
And that's ratings.
That's ratings. And if you're having a reunion show, you're really not there to discuss the talent anymore. It's about their personalities.
Right.
Yeah, competition's over.
I'm sorry, Miss Britt.
I'm
She
surprised
wasn't doing it.
they didn't
No,
show
you're right.
Leanna and Daniel's whole breakdown. Remember when she yelled at him for stealing her look because they were doing the 2 looks?
Oh,
so
yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
Remember Leanna? They had like 2 different looks, and they were a team, Leanna and Daniel. And then one look was hers and one look was
Oh,
his.
you're
Yeah.
right.
And then she was like, "Well, that's my look, and that's my look, and you don't have any looks."
Yeah. Whatever.
Oh, Leanna.
I love
Poor
that.
Daniel. He was
Poor
just
Daniel.
so nice.
He's
Yes,
too nice.
And he admitted it, that he sometimes thinks he's too nice for his own good. And I
Yeah.
think we all agreed with that throughout the entire season.
I love that there
Look at
were
the looks.
all the people that we didn't really
Dirty
get to
looks.
know, that we don't really know at all,
Okay.
like Emily, and then there was the one weirdo guy that got kicked
I
off
thought he was
third
part of the
episode.
crew that they accidentally got on camera.
Right.
That's what I was like,
'Cause they
when
didn't
did that
show
guy
him
come
until
in
the
the
very
shot?
end, and I'm like,
Yeah.
who's this guy?
Yeah.
Well, I don't even remember his name at all.
I
But
know.
I don't know why Michelle doesn't like Daniel. They have almost the same haircut.
they
Serious.
do, right.
And then, you know what? And Daniel is a really nice guy. And if you can't like a really nice person
Then you're just a
who's
terrible
genuinely like, he is emotional because of what he's been through, and you just kind of, it might be annoying at times, but you let it go. And if you can't like somebody like that, that's a bitch.
Right.
Thank
That's
you.
a bitch.
I think we have
Drop the
said
mic.
enough.
Like
Drop
Michelle.
the mic.
Drop the mic. I'm
It's done.
Jay-Z style.
Why was Kate wearing a tiara, by the way? And can
Maybe
we
it
talk
was
about
her
Leanna's
sweet
boobs,
And by the
too?
way, you guys
She
keep
looked
a
like a wedding
listening.
dress, vintage.
She's
keep
a wedding
refer-
dress designer.
Oh, no wonder.
Maybe
Oh.
that
That's
was
right.
she was,
I don't
plugging
even
her
remember
Forgot
that.
about that.
stuff.
We keep referencing the show, you guys that are listening, because we're watching it as we talk. So if it,
We're sorry.
we're confusing. Sorry, that's why.
Yeah, if we're reacting to faces
Yeah,
that we see.
we're
Right.
reacting to Michelle's bitchy faces. We're talking about Kate's
So
ugly
rude.
crown.
Oh, and I got word that 2 looks like Don Johnson. That's who it
Don
is.
Johnson.
Oh, amazing.
That's a good one.
Don Johnson with Lady Gaga heels on.
Yes.
I think there are
definitely.
some McQueen
Vietnamese
heels that he.
Don Johnson.
Yeah.
Right. I'm feeling that.
I just like that name,
Yeah.
Don Johnson.
Don
Good
Johnson.
one.
Two
only-
Don
Two Johnson.
If only he was
Two
wearing
Don?
little wicker
Two Don.
shoes.
Oh.
Right.
I still think he looks like Shiloh. Jolie
Yep.
Pitt.
Yep.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes.
I
For real.
Oh, fantastic.
I totally agree.
And then they gave a great shout out to your boy Joe and his sweaters.
Sweaters.
I want one of those sweaters.
I know.
Where can we find
Apparently
his
he's got
sweater?
a
Look
it up.
lucrative
We gotta
sweater
find out his last
business.
name.
Yeah,
we gotta find it.
I want a crazy cat sweater.
Well, let's
Or maybe
also
a basset hound sweater.
let's also talk about the time constraints that they
Right.
brought up. So we all know that they have very short time. They have these crazy tasks to do, and they kind of addressed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just thought it was interesting because I know throughout this season and even in the past seasons, we've always kind of talked about that. I remember when we had one of the past models come in and really tell us how quick it was. Like, I think we all knew it was fast, but didn't realize, that even after one runway, then they would get their next challenge, and just how long the process was of the runway. So I think it was interesting to hear their reactions for the first time.
But it's like, come on, how many seasons are we? We've even had, like you said, contestants come in and say, you really have no time. Like, you think going on Project Runway, you're gonna research and, find out
Yeah,
how
that's
much time
true.
do you really have for this?
They said about one day is really about 7 hours
Wow.
of actually being able to do stuff because you're eating, you're sleeping, you're
Yeah.
doing interviews.
You're bitching
and
about
you're
people.
bitching about people. I'm sure that because this is reality television too, you're doing multiple takes of things. They're having you like reset and re-say things that may have not been
Yeah.
caught on camera or whatever.
Right. I agree with you.
Did we just blow somebody's mind in the room? Brian's like, reality television isn't reality?
It's scripted?
It's scripted? What?
They ask you the same question
I think
more
I just
than
made
once?
your fiance
They
like
make
cry.
you re-sew
Yeah.
a seam just for the B-roll?
It's called reality for a reason. Sorry. If I just spoiled that for anybody out there, I apologize.
Yeah, but I remember they all agreed that as a designer, this was by far the hardest thing they've ever done. And, I think Michael Kors has said that even if he were to do this, this would be the hardest thing that he's ever done because, designers nowadays, the big ones, they don't have to do these kinds of quick turnaround challenges.
They don't sew.
Nobody
They
does.
don't even sew, you're right. But even if, a lot of them that know how to sew, like, they're not going to turn around and do this.
They might not even be the best sewers. They hire people to be their
Right.
best
So
They
it's
have
hard.
huge teams working for them. So.
Valentino.
Right.
I was excited to see Michael Kors back, though.
I would. Yeah, he was great.
Although I love Zach.
Speaking of judges, let's get into that. And Tim. Everybody had a little bit of a favorite judge, Stanley
Except
and
for
Nina.
Michelle. Except for Michelle.
The judges didn't even like me, but somehow I won.
Yeah.
They didn't like her, though.
No.
I mean, it's not that
Nobody
they
liked
didn't
her.
like her. It's just that they definitely didn't favor her. I really forgot about how at one point she was almost kicked off and had to actually save herself.
Well,
I think she just got lucky in the end.
It's that smug attitude. They probably could sense it, and they really do not like that. Remember Ven?
Yeah.
Well, and she didn't listen. Like, I will never forget that challenge where she did
Jeans
the
and
top
t-shirt?
and the pants.
Or
Yeah.
t-shirt
And
pants.
Nina was like, I think I said specifically not to do a t-shirt and
T-shirt and
pants.
pants.
And that's exactly what she did.
So good.
No, it didn't.
Wow,
it
you
was
made a
boring. It
white
wasn't anything
top.
amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
I can't find that in American Apparel.
What was funny was that challenge was Michelle and Amanda working together, and they were like so excited and thinking what they put together was so hot. I remember.
And then there's, Amanda, who probably could have stepped up and said, aren't you not supposed to do this?
Right.
And then she was like, I want this in my closet. And I'm like, you can probably go get
You
that
can
for
find
your
it
closet.
somewhere. Exactly.
Yes. That whole smug attitude, so annoying.
Yeah.
Any other judges they mentioned?
Oh,
Nobody said Zach was their favorite.
Nobody said that? Yeah. And who
No,
didn't
Samantha
like Zach?
did.
Did
Samantha
she?
said
Oh,
that she
yeah,
felt
yeah.
like
Yeah.
Zach really had an
Understood her.
understanding of her, and that the challenge that she actually got kicked off on was one that he wasn't there, which she thinks could have been a part in it.
Dang
How
it,
about their
Zach.
favorite
know.
guest judge was surprising to me. Bette
Bette
Midler.
Midler?
That
What the hell?
was so crazy.
She's not fashion-y. She's not a huge star. I mean, it's
Yeah. I mean, I could see that for the gay
she
guys.
was
there,
a huge star, but
I thought
Yeah.
Rachel Roy was the best because she was like on half the season for
Yeah.
Zach.
And she's just fabulous.
And she's
and her
freaking
teeth are
gorgeous.
so white, and
She's
Yeah.
just gorgeous.
she's beautiful.
And
she is gorgeous and talented.
And very talented.
Yeah.
well,
Wait, whose boobs did you want to talk about?
Boobs?
Yeah, you said boobs earlier. Leanna?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about
Leanna was a lot fuller.
She had
Yeah.
a
Well,
She just had a
baby.
She had a
baby. She's probably
baby.
still nursing.
So she had boobs now.
There's
I thought she actually
legend
looked
there.
really good. I think she
did
looks
look
good that
She
way.
was wearing a
cute.
very
I think she looks good.
even though she's Brazilian, I felt like her outfit was Puerto Rican.
Wow.
Okay.
I don't know what that means.
Any Puerto Rican from New York will know what that means.
Wow.
Oh, I'm gonna get death threats. I know.
Anyhow, let's move on to Tim and Michelle's little relationship. She does address the
Yeah.
fact that her and Tim were like BFF, and he totally stood up for her. And what's the host's name? What was her name?
Zanna.
Heidi?
Zanna.
Oh,
No,
Zanna.
Zanna. Girl.
Heidi.
Zanna was talking about how Tim went back and basically saved her
Right.
by talking to Heidi and
Why,
saying, you gotta
Tim?
keep her.
Why?
I know, right?
Well, he really must have seen something in her work.
Yeah.
And he probably figured everybody else is talentless, so
Right.
the
They
best
could
of
have
the
just
worst.
If I
started that
don't
at the
save
beginning of
her,
the season.
Patricia's gonna
I
win.
don't even know if I feel like she was the
Just
best of the
scrapped
worst.
it. No, I really
don't
think
think she
Samantha.
is.
I forgot about
Samantha
her.
was good. I really like
We
Samantha.
didn't get to see her shine because when she was there, it was
Those
always
teams.
Did
so
she
team-
get kicked off on that? But she did make a really horrible outfit, the one with the heart cut out in the
Oh,
back, and it was
that's
so cheaply made, and then it was
right.
I
super
missed that
short.
episode.
Oh,
Boy.
And I
It was
remember
bad.
that Tim warned her about the heart, but also was down with her doing something in the junior range. It was the Lord and
too
Taylor
junior.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, what she came up with, she didn't do the measurements correctly.
Oh, I did like getting to see the judges reacting to the Thunder from Down Under challenge.
That was awesome.
hilarious.
Nina was the best because she was like
love
turning
Nina.
so red.
And she couldn't
That
quit-
was
keep
hilarious.
from giggling.
And the worst part is that they made the ugliest clothes I've ever seen in my
Ever.
life. But because they were so entertained by these guys, they didn't even get as harsh as they should have. They were still laughing through their criticism.
They were laughing at how terrible things were too.
Yeah.
But I mean, they even said the models were incredibly huge compared to their dress forms.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
they-
these guys had muscles like tree trunks.
I
on
will
their
say though,
legs.
like as insane as that challenge was, I actually thought that was a really good one. Like
That
I
was the
feel like
best
that's
episode.
something they need to do
Every
maybe not necessarily for strippers, but something like kind of that
More
random
real
and
world.
crazy.
Male strippers all
With
Yeah.
the rip-off pants.
How about Leanna possibly getting preggo by the Australian
God.
guy?
Well, who else
Yeah.
would it have been? I mean, she
No,
was
no.
single then, and then she comes back like what,
Audio man.
4
Yeah,
months
as soon
later.
as
Anna
she-
gets
she
whatever
leaves.
she wants, so it could have been anybody.
Right.
Really, let's get real.
It's true.
Oh.
Yeah,
It was me. Just kidding, babe.
babe. What was the dude? Was there an unconventional challenge? I know there
Wasn't
was.
it the
I just can't remember what it was.
Candy shop?
No,
No,
that
it
was
was
last
the-
season.
It was
Flowers.
The flowers.
Remember?
flowers.
Amanda.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I really like that. actually.
Black-hearted.
Okay,
Cold.
got it.
All right.
That's right.
So I think we covered everything. Anything you
Yeah.
guys want to add before we sign off and say goodbye to all our Project Runway?
It's going to be a long hiatus.
Yeah.
We've been like back to back for 3
Since
seasons now.
July, I think it was July 18th or 19th. I swear it was that date. I don't know why I remember it, but we started. I will never forget it. And the seasons have never stopped since. Not complaining, just saying it's tiring.
Fashion folk, thank you for your support.
Yes, for sticking with us or for joining us along the way.
And we will be back next
Yeah.
season. We don't know when that is.
Maybe we'll be more tan.
Maybe we'll be more tan, and hopefully there won't be teams.
Because it's
Right.
summer. It's summer.
Some of us
We have a little
on this
break.
panel will be newly married.
Yay.
Oh, I was like, excited.
I have something to tell
I was
you.
like, oh my God, this is so exciting breaking news. babe, guess
Why
what?
are you putting all our business out there?
I'm just saying. Somebody's gonna be
Yay.
off the market.
Applause.
Woo. Well, I'm already off the market. But officially, yes.
Officially.
More officially.
Yay.
All right. Congratulations,
Yay.
Virginia.
Thanks,
Let everybody know where to follow us. You guys can follow me on Twitter @_Alina, ALINA 23.
And you guys can follow me at Twitter and Instagram at Virginia Reyna.
And you can follow me on, let's say, Instagram @LowVias.
On Twitter and Instagram @Cougar Tweets.
Thank you guys for listening. It was a fun season with the fans. And
Yeah.
we'll catch you later.
Peace.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz
you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.